You know, there's this one feature in Git that so many developers are kind of scared of. But here's the thing, it's actually their biggest safety net. Yeah, today we're talking about branching. You know this developer. Heck, you might be this developer. The one who just works on the main branch. Everything goes right into main. You're pushing like every 15 minutes just to feel like your work is safe. And if anyone asks why, it's always, oh, it's just me on this project, or branches are just too much work. And the big one, the one we all feel sometimes, I always mess up the merge.
But see, that's the hilarious irony of it all. Branching? That's the one feature that actually makes Git safe. It's what lets you go wild, try some risky new idea without blowing up your working code. It's how you can drop everything to fix a critical bug and then come right back to what you were doing. It's the key to making sure your main branch is always ready to go. So, the people who are most scared of Git, they're usually the ones dodging the one feature that would get rid of all that fear.
All right, so let's get over that fear. We need to reframe this whole thing. Forget thinking of branches as some scary tightrope. From now on, I want you to think of a branch as your personal sandbox. And this is really the core of it. What is a branch? It's not some crazy, complex, parallel copy of your entire project. Nope, it's just a super lightweight pointer. Think of it like a sticky note pointing to a specific commit. It's literally just a tiny text file with a single commit hash in it. That's just the unique ID for a version of your code. That's it. That's why creating a branch is instant. No code gets copied, the cost is basically zero, but the safety you get, it's huge. So it should never feel like this big, heavy decision.
Okay, so when should you branch? Easy. The rule of thumb is before you start doing basically anything. Got a new feature? Make a branch. A bug fix? Even if it's just a one-line change, make a branch. An experiment that you're not sure will even work? Oh, you definitely want a branch for that, because that's where things are designed to go a little sideways. It's a habit that takes, 10 seconds? And it's the one thing that keeps your main branch pristine and always ready to ship.
Now, you don't need to dive into these super complex strategies like Git flow, not right away. People have written whole books on this stuff. But let's look at a really simple, super effective strategy that works for, I'd say, most teams, most of the time.
So here's the strategy in a nutshell. Keep it flat and keep it simple. Rule number 1, your main branch is sacred. It should always be deployable. That means you never, ever commit directly to it. All your new work, whether it's a new feature, a bug fix, or a super urgent hotfix for production, it gets its own branch, and that branch starts from main. That's it. This structure is so easy to read, easy to manage, and trust me, it prevents a ton of headaches down the road.
And this leads me to a really small habit with a massive payoff. How you name your branches. Look, a branch called Jane's branch tells you and everyone else absolutely nothing. But a branch named feature/user-auth, bam, you instantly know its purpose and what it's about. 3 months from now, when you're digging through old work, that descriptive name is going to be a gift you gave to your future self. So use prefixes, be specific. It's a simple act of kindness.
All right, let's do it. Let's tackle the big one, merge versus rebase. This debate has probably launched 1,000 angry threads on Stack Overflow. But you know what? It's not a religious war. They're just different tools for different jobs. Let's demystify it.
Okay, here it is. The golden rule that will solve like 90% of the confusion out there. You use git merge when you're bringing your work into a shared public branch like main. Why? Because it saves the exact history and creates a special merge commit that says, hey, this feature was finished and integrated right here. Now, you use git rebase on your own local private branches. This is for cleaning up your own work. It pulls in the latest changes from main and replays your commits on top, creating a nice, clean, linear history before you share it with everyone else.
And that's basically it. Let's say that one more time because it is that important. Merge public branches, rebase private branches. 2 sentences. For most people, that's the whole debate. Solved. This gives you a really clean history without ever rewriting the shared history of the team, which is a big no-no.
Okay, but what happens when things get messy? You know what I'm talking about, the dreaded merge conflict. But just like with branching itself, I think the fear is way worse than the reality, so let's look at this from a different angle.
So, is a merge conflict a total disaster? Does it mean you've done something horribly wrong and your repository is now broken forever? Because yeah, this is usually the moment when the panic starts to set in.
No, absolutely not. A merge conflict is not a disaster. Think of it this way. It's just Git pausing the game, looking at you and asking a simple question. It's saying, hey, you and someone else both changed the same line in this file. I'm just a computer. I don't know which one you want to keep. You're the human. You decide. That's literally all it is.
And fixing it is actually a really straightforward process. First, you just open the file where Git shows you those triple-line conflict markers. Then, you just edit the file, you decide which code to keep. Maybe it's yours, maybe it's theirs, maybe it's a mix of both. After that, you just delete all those weird marker lines that Git put in, save the file, and then you do a git add and git commit. That's you telling Git, hey, I fixed it, we're good to go. See? It's just editing a text file.
And if you want to make this whole process even easier, here are 3 quick tips. First, merge small and merge often. A branch that's only been around for a day or 2 is way less likely to have major conflicts than one that's been cooking for 2 weeks. Second, think about using a visual merge tool. It makes seeing the differences so much easier than trying to read them in the raw text. And third, and this is probably the most important one, just go talk to your teammate. A conflict is often just a conversation that needed to happen anyway.
Okay, one last habit for you. This is what I call good branch hygiene. Please, delete your branches after they're merged. A repository with like 200 old, stale branches is a nightmare that nobody can understand. You completely lose the signal in all that noise. Most tools like GitHub or GitLab have a little checkbox to automatically delete branches after a merge. Just turn it on. Keep your workspace clean.
So let's wrap this up with one final thought. We started this whole thing talking about the fear of breaking something by using a branch. But I want you to think about this. What if the biggest risk isn't breaking a branch? What if the real risk is working without that safety net and never using one at all?